Hi, I'm Helen.
I'm Fred.
I'm Steven.
And you're watching Word of Mouth. Tonight I saw Next to Normal, an original musical.
It's a musical based on a family, and the family sort of coming apart at the seams.
They seem like the people who would live next door to you. There's a mother, a father, a brother, and a sister.
But very early on, you realize there's, a little darkness underneath it all. And then it's sort of the whole play comes out of how the family kind of comes together and grows apart and learns to interact and deal with grief and illness and all these things that we all deal with.
It's all based around the mother's, her battle with being bipolar and her battle with medication and sort of being medicated and having to see the doctor.
Dan is just, your typical father. He's kind of the model father. He loves his kids, although he is a little bit detached and removed from them because of his wife, who he loves very much, and he's, vowed to stick with her through thick and thin, through her bipolar disorder. And he is just kind of trying to hold everything together. The
two kids are Natalie and Gabe, and so Natalie's obviously the daughter, and she is an overachiever.
She's sort of like teen angst daughter. She's sort of like going through it. She plays the piano, and she's like at school, and she's like very rigid in her ways.
But she's in the shadow of her older brother Gabe, who is like a football star and this good-looking 17-year-old, and clearly the apple of his mother's eye.
You're sort of following each of the characters, figuring out how they interact with each other, like why the daughter resents the mother, and the mother's relationship with the father and the son, and the father's relationship with the son. It's all very complicated.
The strength of this is that you can find something to relate to in every character.
It felt very, very real to me. And for a play for a musical that's called Next to Normal, that's very important, I think, that they were very identifiable and these characters felt very real and genuine.
I got the sense that it was taking place now and it was very of the moment, and that I might know even some people, like some families like this, or I might be able to relate to some of the characters myself, but I actually had a hard time believing them.
Alice Ripley plays Diana. She's fierce.
They will probably nominate a few other people, but they should just engrave the Tony with her name because she is so spectacular.
She gives quite the performance. She is very believable as confused and a little crazy, but you really feel for her. You feel sympathetic.
She has an absolutely stunning, gorgeous voice, and it's there's really quiet moments that you just you could hear a pin drop, and then there's parts of the show where the band's going crazy and she's wailing, and she's pitch perfect in everything that she does.
J. Robert Spencer plays Dan. I thought he was great, and I loved him. I felt so badly for him.
He was really great. I mean, again, very believable as a father. They were believable as a couple, and you just really empathize with him. You just really, connect with his character.
I like the two children, played by Aaron Tveit and Jennifer Damiano.
I loved Aaron Tveit, who played Gabe. I thought he really commanded the stage very well. His voice is great. I loved how he had all this energy.
The score was spectacular. It's somehow very appropriate. It's not like they're having a serious dialogue and then just burst into song like in a traditional musical from the 50s or something. It all just flowed together so beautifully.
I feel like it's memorable. I feel like I was walking out of the theater and I was humming it to myself. It's very good music.
It seemed like it was just shouty, or if you're shouting and if you're screaming against like a metal bar, then that's rock. But that to me really didn't fit. It didn't feel organic to what was happening. It seemed disconnected to what was happening in the story.
There wasn't a weak song in the bunch, and it really takes you on this great journey musically with intensity, and then, like you said, these really quiet moments. I thought it was beautiful.
When I go see a show, I usually don't really care about the set. But in this show, it's more like a character onto itself. Basically the set sets you in Diana's mind. And you're watching as she gets angry and it turns red and it's pulsing, and I thought that the stage really added a certain element to it.
Visually, it was also really stunning. It's this sort of three-level set, and the characters, the set represents their suburban home, it represents the school, it represents the doctor's office, with just simple set pieces.
Dividing walls would move around and change absolutely nothing to me. It wouldn't give me a sense of like, I'm in a home or I'm in the hospital. Sometimes they're windows and sometimes they're like a woman's eyes, and it's like, well, what does that mean? Why is it changing?
It was fabulous. This is my new favorite musical. It's electrifying. It has you on the edge of your seat. It's an emotional roller coaster. I can't believe that I just saw this. It's amazing.
You could feel the appreciation and the excitement in the audience tonight. I don't think I'm alone in thinking that this is a really special, spectacular show that's going to really blow people away.
I liked the premise of the musical, and conceptually I liked it, but watching it happen, I just didn't feel connected to it at all, and I felt like it was forced or a little oversimplified.
It was one of those shows that at intermission, I couldn't wait for the second act to see how it was going to unfold. I just felt really excited to be in the theater and see something so interesting.
When was the last time you saw an original musical on Broadway? It's something to really cheer for, something that's not a book or a movie or a jukebox musical. It's new, it's great, the singing is just phenomenal, the actors are so incredibly talented. Just go see it.
I didn't feel anything, and it's weird because there were moments of silence at the end where you could tell the audience was really loving it and they were really feeling for it. The person beside me was crying, but I felt very little. I think most of the time I just had such a hard time believing what was happening that I couldn't just let go and be with the characters.
I think my friends should see it, and I think they should take me with them.
It defies description. I think it's one of those shows that you just say, go see this. I wouldn't reveal anything. I just feel like, trust me, you're going to want to see this. You're really going to miss out if you don't. Go see Next to Normal.
You just don't know who I am.